What age did you decide you wanted to be a presenter and why?
I never really wanted to be a presenter, funnily enough. I was a journalist, and I decided that I wanted to be a journalist when I was at school, actually. I think it was around about the fifth form, which is what, year 10, is it? 11. Year 11.
Yes.
Yeah. So I knew that I wanted to write, particularly, and hadn't really thought about broadcasting terribly much. I particularly wanted to write for a women's magazine called Thursday, which was a kind of thinking women's magazine back in the day, a bit of a current affairs-y sort of magazine for women.
Okay. Oh, great. Thank you. Was being a presenter your first choice of career? Or was it journalism?
Journalism.
I thought it
was
be. Okay.
yes. So yeah, journalism was really my first choice of career, other than wanting to be an astronaut when I was very little.
Oh, great. Thank you. Who has been your greatest influence professionally on your presenting career and why?
I think on my presenting career, probably the greatest influence. Well, there are three people really that I would mention, and the first was Dougal Stevenson, who was a newsreader back in the 70s, and I admired him tremendously because he was such a great communicator. He was very articulate, but also extraordinarily warm in his delivery, and really was able to connect with the audience, I felt. Well, he certainly connected with me. So Dougal was really kind of the god of newsreading for me, and also both my co-hosts. I worked for a long time with John Hawkesby, who is a terrific presenter, very skilled and very quick on his feet. And he gave me an enormous amount of confidence, I think, because I'm not naturally an out there sort of person. And Richard Long, latterly, also for a number of years, and I completely lost count of the number of years. But he is an extraordinarily fine journalist, very rigorous in his approach to stories, and a great writer. And so I learned a lot from both of them.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you. How important have your friends and family been in terms of realizing your dreams?
My friends and family have been extraordinarily supportive of me over the years. I think it's really difficult for people who are close to you when somebody is in the spotlight, because inevitably they end up in the spotlight as well. So they've been incredibly patient and forgiving of that kind of lack of privacy that you get. And I often say to people who are bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, young, want-to-be presenters, that you should really consider that loss of anonymity, because it's a very precious thing. And you don't realise how precious it is until you've lost it. So yeah, my family have been enormously supportive, as have my friends. I've got some wonderful mates who've been mates. In fact, a lot of my mates are mates that I've had since school days. So we're very close and still see a lot of each other. And there's nothing like friends and family. No amount of fabulous jobs can compare.
Oh, great. Thank you. What 3 attributes do you think you require in order to succeed in today's competitive world of presenting?
Wow, 3 attributes to succeed in presenting. I think, first of all, you have to be able to communicate through a camera. And not everybody can do that. There's a kind of an indefinable thing, a kind of X factor that happens when you're communicating through a camera, because it's a really artificial environment. So that's probably the first thing. The next thing is that you have to always have the story as top of mind. So you have to forget about yourself and immerse yourself in the story that you're trying to communicate. And the third thing, it's probably just preparation. Don't think that you can wing it, because it's a team thing, and there are an awful lot of people out there who are, you're kind of the last domino to fall, really. So you need to be on top of every aspect of the program, and have done your prep.
Oh, definitely. Thank you very much. What one piece of advice would you give to a young person who is embarking upon a new career path?
Oh, one piece of advice to someone embarking on a new career path. I think I would say, and passionate is such an overworked word these days, but I think you really have to want to be doing what you're heading for. If you're going to succeed, you have to have a real emotional investment in that job. It has to be something that rings your bells.
Oh, great, thank you.
I think and maybe one of the other things I would say is that it's not necessarily always something that your parents might want you to do, because sometimes I think parents have very fixed ideas about what their children might want to do, but often children will go off in a completely different direction, and generally they have it right because it's what they're passionately interested in.
Oh, great, thank you. Can you describe the most defining moment of your presenting career?
Oh, my goodness, a defining moment in my presenting career. There are quite a few, I guess. I think possibly one of the defining moments would be doing telethon, funnily enough, which is absolutely not connected to the news in any way. But it was a time that allowed me to really be myself on the telly, because it was 24 hours and it was live and it was seat of the pants broadcasting. And I gained an enormous amount of confidence from that. And I think confidence is something that you need to survive in the world of telly, particularly these days. So that was probably, the first telethon that I fronted with Peter Sinclair back in the day, would have been a defining moment for me. And then there were always the big stories that happened that you didn't see coming, like I'm thinking Aramoana, for instance.
Oh, definitely.
The shooting there that obviously came out of the blue, and it was the first time that we had live coverage from the scene, and we had live pictures during the afternoon coming in from Aramoana. And I remember voicing over those pictures live as they were coming in, and the feeling of complete horror, and seeing the bodies on the road, and all those ghastly images, and thinking that this.
What did an average week of work consist of, and how many hours a week did you put in?
Generally, because when I was reading the news, we were part-time pretty much. So Because I had that's how come I came to be a newsreader, because I wanted some part-time work, because I had children at home, you see. So I would go in about midday, and I'd be home by 7:30.
Oh, great. Thank you. What did you have to sacrifice in order for your presenting career to survive?
I think the biggest sacrifice for me was being here after school with the kids, because that's so often the time that they really want to tell you stuff. So we'd have lots of long phone conversations, but that's one of my big regrets, not having that time, and dinner time with them. I was generally here to read the stories and whatnot, and work on the science projects and things after that. But yeah, I think that's definitely the biggest sacrifice.
Thank you. How important was your team in ensuring the success of your presenting career?
Vital. Absolutely vital. The team is everything in television, and you don't see the number of people who are slaving away out the back, making the program happen. So there is a big team of people, from graphic artists to reporters to editors, program editors, and so on. So yeah, it's definitely a team thing, and no one person is any more important or less important than anyone else.
Great, thank you. What is the greatest challenge you have faced, and how did you overcome this?
I think probably there was a time when my salary became public, and there was an awful lot of debate, vitriolic debate, about whether or not I was worth it and so on, and it was incredibly hurtful, incredibly embarrassing, and humiliating, and to to have to turn up on the news night after night, and actually to read about yourself on the news was a test of my mettle, I think. And yeah, but it was, I came through it. I think you just have to be brave and carry on, suck it up.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing about that.
In
words, what is the key to success?
The key to success, gosh, wow, I don't know. You know what? Maybe it's just not thinking about it. Maybe I've not thought about it, to be honest. The key to success is probably doing something that you really believe in and enjoy and put your heart and soul into. I mean, success is a very nebulous thing, isn't it? It's different things to different people. I really regard my family as my greatest success. I'm never happier than when I'm with my family. I take enormous joy from watching them grow and develop. I loved my job, don't get me wrong, but it was always secondary to family for me. Yeah, so I think the key is to have a balance in your life, maybe. Sounds awfully waffly, doesn't it?
No, it's fine. Thank you.